Shalom, shalom. Here we go again. Here we go. Welcome to Mother Africa Be Calling. I'm your brother, Betsulel Yehudi Israel, also known as Eric. Hit that like button, share and subscribe. If you're new to this channel, welcome to Mother Africa Be Calling. Here's a good topic I got today. Carmelo Anthony. Carmelo Anthony convicted of murder in track meet trial. I've been hearing about this Carmelo Anthony case for a while, but I never really looked into it. At once I thought it's like, is he the son of the basketball player, Carmelo Anthony? No, he's not. So if you're not familiar with the case, check it out. Google Carmelo Anthony case. So what it is let's get down to it. This is why I say Mother Africa be calling. This is why I have this channel so we can, have another way to deal with this racism and bias and just hate against us as a people, the children of Israel, aka Black Americans. All right. Carmelo Anthony. All right, let me get down here. Here it is right here. They're holding up the justice for Carmelo Anthony. He was convicted and given a 35-year sentence for this. Anthony was indicted on first-degree murder charge last year after the April 2025 fatal stabbing of 17-year-old Austin Metcalf. The incident occurred after a seating dispute under a stadium tent at a Frisco, Texas track meet. Okay? So, listen, the parents of both teams have said they were good students who planned to go to college. Metcalf's father has condemned those who seized on the race of the teenagers after the killing. So here it is right here. Let's get down to it. So according to what I read, Carmelo Anthony went into a tent that Metcalf was in, the young white male that was killed. And when he went into the tent, sorry about that. When he went into the tent, Metcalf told, let me cut this off so we won't keep doing that. When he went into the tent, Metcalf told Carmelo Anthony that he couldn't be in this tent, something to that effect. And Carmelo Anthony, supposedly responded, "Don't put your hands on me, or don't touch me, and if you do, see what happens," something to that effect. And so Metcalf did exactly what he was told not to do. He put his hands on Carmelo Anthony, and Carmelo Anthony stabbed him. That's what I read. Okay, I don't know. I wasn't there. I don't know the particulars, but I am not going to argue whether or not it was self-defense, or it was uh, not justified because it was just all-out assault. And I'm not going to get into that because there's another point I want to make. The point I want to make is the bias and justice against us as African Americans and AKA Hebrew Israelites. The point I want to make is one that's all too familiar. Here it is, this young man is 17 years old. He gets into a confrontation. He ends up killing, or he ends up taking the life of another young man that's 17 that was white, Caucasian. He gets 35 years. He gets charged with murder. They didn't say second degree or nothing like that or any kind of manslaughter. They charged him with murder. So I can just come to the conclusion it was first degree murder anytime he got 35 years. They didn't say second degree murder. They charged him with first degree murder, most likely. I know with murder on something that should have been no more than manslaughter. Not saying that you devalue anybody's life, but let's go by the way things are. They get into a argument or whatever dispute. One takes and puts his hands on the other then stabs him. It wasn't like they proved or you heard that, yeah, he planned out this murder and he set it up and then he killed him. Like this, how would Carmelo Anthony know that he's going to get into a confrontation with this guy, and at that particular time that he could kill him. It does. How can you get premeditated out of this to charge him with first degree murder? Usually, like a confrontation, like a fight or something like that, that ends in somebody's death because of a fight or altercation, it would be manslaughter to the highest. Like it wasn't planned out to murder somebody, right? Besides that, because a knife was used, like a knife could be used as protection, that's one, but in a lot of cases to open up stuff, some people carry knives just in case they have to open something, boxes or anything. It's not like you had a gun, and I'm not saying that it makes it any better. I'm simply saying that for premeditation, you know, a knife is a common used tool around your house. You don't walk around your house and cut cakes and you know cut up onions with a knife. Okay. So I'm simply saying, how did he get charged with murder and not manslaughter? Right? Because, and we know why. Because he is what? He is black, aka African American, Hebrew Israelite. He, this is how they do it. And I'm gonna show you something. And you should show you a case why I'm gonna show you a case that proves my point. Because if he was white and the shoe was on the other foot, if Metcalf was, let's switch around, was the one that killed or had took the life of Carmelo Anthony, then he probably wouldn't even been charged. They would have said he was in fear of his life. It was stand your ground and all this. And even if he was charged, they was not going to charge him with murder. They would have charged him with the lesser charge. They would have like gave manslaughter. Check this case out that I did I did this case right here on Mother Africa Be Calling. I want you to go back and look at it if you haven't seen it, if you're new to this channel. Look at this. Former Army soldier found guilty of manslaughter in the shooting death of his wife. This guy right here was an older person in the Army. He had a black wife, and he's a white guy. And his name is Jordan. Her name was Ashley Henning. His name was Jordan Henning. He on tape. They had cameras in their home. He was arguing with his wife. He was the aggressor. It was on her birthday. She sounded like she was afraid of him. He was the aggressor, just arguing with her, yelling at her. And then he just went and got a gun. And he stood over top of her. He shot her down and stood over top of her and emptied the gun in her. Then he went and reloaded the gun. So, I mean, he went left, arguing, left and walked away, came back with a gun and shot her. And it was on tape, and stood over top of her and emptied the gun in her, and it was on tape, right? And so, and not only that, let's be real, she's a woman, he's a man. Like, what fear did you have that you had to go get a gun? Like, she wasn't even threatening him. She wasn't fighting him, running towards him. He was yelling at her. So how do you justify that that's not first degree murder? You left and went and got a gun and came back and got and shot her. And then not one time, but continued until she was not moving or breathing anymore. Then went and reloaded. My point being is that you charged him with manslaughter because he's white and she's black. And this is what they do for each other. Check this out. They knew that his case was a open and shut case, okay? Because they had it on tape, a first degree murder on tape. They knew that it was going to be hard to help their little white friend out. They knew it. They knew it. So the best thing they could do for him to save him, because they are so wicked. Because she was a black woman, they made sure we don't value her life. We want you to be free, but this one is so obvious because they got the tape. We just gonna charge you with man. We'll do the best we can do. We want to help our brother out, but and get him out without doing any time. And so we'll do this. This is what the prosecutors did. We'll do the second best thing that we can do. We won't charge him with murder. This is a death penalty case. He gets charged with manslaughter. So they knew that the most he could get was 20 years. And then he's probably not going to get that because he probably didn't get it. You could look it up and check to see for yourself, because if he's never been convicted of any crimes, they usually do not hand out the full max of the sentence, right? So the max he can get was 20 years. He probably didn't get 20 years. It's disgusting. Whereas though he's an older man, he was in the military, he should be held to a higher standard. A higher standard. He's not a teenager. He's a military. He should learn discipline in the military where he can control his temper. But what he did was he just went and not and I mean and he had children in the house and everything, putting them in danger, other people in danger, everything. This right here was a death penalty case. But because he's white, she's black, right? This is all too familiar. This is just one example of it, right? I mean, we had the case where the one white officer, a police officer, should be held to a higher standard. She went and it's a known case. She went and walked into another man's house apartment while he was sleeping on the sofa and killed him and said she went into the wrong apartment. She thought it was her apartment. How do you think somebody else's apartment is yours and somebody sleep on the sofa and you shoot and kill? All that is hogwash. But she was white and the victim was black, right? So this is what they do. This is why I say Mother Africa is calling her children home. We did the marching. Martin Luther King and them been peaceful, walking down the street, getting dog sicked on them, bricks thrown at them, hoes down the street, billy clubs, bloody, dragged up. They're dragged up down the street like dogs, thrown in the back of the paddy wagons, put in jail for just saying, please treat me fair. I'm just standing out here. I'm harmless, a harmless dove. Just standing here asking you, please stop doing what you're doing to us. And the people who's supposed to be protecting do exactly that to them. They're crying out, stop mistreating us, stop killing us, stop beating us, stop falsely imprisoning us, stop doing all these things to us, killing our children, destroying our neighborhoods, terrorizing us. You going out marching and you're saying, hey, look, we're peaceful. We just asking you to stop, treat us fairly. And then the people who supposed to protect them, the police, are the ones that's doing it, sicking dogs on them, hitting them in the head with billy clubs, doing all that stuff I just named. We did all that. And we voted. Oh, voting. Vote, vote, vote. So from the beginning, voting, people always say, well, my ancestors died for me to have the right to vote. You gotta die to vote. Oh yeah, they did all that too. So the voting, you did that. You people died for that, and you did that, and it's still the same, right? It's still the same. You got cameras now showing what they do. And they still say, you know what? If we can't let them completely off, we will charge them with something that is that'll get them out of the trouble quick, faster. You know what I mean? A lesser charge. Like the woman, the white woman who walked into the house, the apartment that wasn't hers, killed the man while he was asleep, took him out while he was asleep, and then she turned around and said she thought it was her place. They gave her like 10 years. And this young man gets 35 years. Mother Africa be calling. I know all of us cannot just up and leave. Some people got jobs and they holding up signs, justice for Carmelo Anthony. You know, everybody can't just leave, but you can plan it out, right? You know, you got grandparents, they get Social Security or they got their retirements or people, you know, you can think about your grandchildren or whatever. If you can get them out of there, just get them out of there. Plan it out. I'm saying stop trying to get justice there. The best thing to do is go to safety if you can, right? And again, like I said, everybody can't do it. The Most High, His Son is going to return. He's going to gather us, and He's going to take us, all of us out. He says that He is going to bring us all out. I might not be living when it happened. I might be living. It look like it's going to be close. But meanwhile, He's going to gather us from all the places where we have been scattered, take us into the wilderness, purge out the rebels, then take us into the promised land, right? Meanwhile, move if you can to safer grounds. If Carmelo Anthony was living over here where I am right now, none of this would have the chance to happen, right? Because you're around all black, mostly all black people. The government is black. So this racial thing of being put in a position where you supposed to be inferior, so that the wheels of justice don't work for you. You know everything that you do is if you do wrong, you get the maximum penalty plus some, right? Charged wrong, wrongfully charged, should have been manslaughter, but no, you're gonna get first degree murder because you are African American, aka Hebrew Israelite or black person, okay? In America. You're going to get the worst more often than not, right? So you can be assaulted, you can be, your life can be taken and all that, and the perpetrator can be go free, just like nothing ever happened. But yet, if you then retaliate or protect yourself, and then they get harmed by you preventing them from killing you or doing something to you, you go to jail for the rest of your life a lot of times, 35 years. So you can't even protect yourself because they got all these stand ground laws they put in, but they are not for us. You can't use it as a black person. Because if you use it, you more often than likely are going to face a trial. And if they get once they get you in that trial, they got you because they're going to find you guilty. Okay. So Mother Africa's calling. Get out of there. We need to leave in droves. I mean, if you can. Do all you can, plan it out, plus pray, ask Yah to help you. Think with that mindset. Think from that point. Think like, okay, like, you know what? If I'm in a house and someone owns the house and they're bullying and I'm living in their house, right? And they're bullying me, right? My thing is I'm not gonna keep begging you to stop. It's your house. You know, you abusive and all that. Why I gotta keep begging you no to stop, and I want you to be fair so you get to eat all the food even though I'm paying for some of the food too. You know, you beating and banging on me and threatening me all the time, and I gotta take the worst of everything. I got the smallest room. The bathroom, if it had problems, that's the one that I got to use. You know, it's just, then why would I just go ahead? Why don't I just go ahead and just leave and go somewhere where I don't have to deal with that? Why am I going to stay in the house and keep trying to negotiate with you over something that's obvious should be done, fairness should be done? Why? That's what we are. We in a house where the owners of the house are hate. So just leave if you can. Get out of the house. And if you can't, your mind should be like, but that's my plan. Plan to get out of the house. So, you know, Yeshua gonna gather us from wherever we are. But meanwhile, go to safer grounds, get out of the house. It's your brother Bessel Yehudi Israel, also known as Eric. Hit that like button, share, subscribe. If you're new to the channel, welcome aboard. I'm back here in the motherland. I'm moving about. You'll get some. I'll give y'all some things for that to enjoy coming soon. You know, so plan them out. And so yeah, shalom.